There are three serious home assistant ecosystems in 2026: Alexa, Google Home, and Apple Home. Picking the wrong one for your needs costs you years of frustration and a lot of money. According to the National Retail Federation's 2025 Smart Home Spending Report, the average household with voice assistants spends $1,400 across 3 to 5 years on devices in their chosen ecosystem. That choice deserves real research. Let's start with raw voice quality. According to the 2025 Lou Ventures Voice Assistant Test, which asked 800 questions across knowledge, command, and conversational tasks, Google Assistant scored 93% accurate, Apple Siri scored 88%, and Alexa scored 81%. Google has the lead on knowledge questions specifically because of search integration. Alexa wins on shopping commands because of Amazon. Here's the catch: voice quality alone doesn't pick your assistant. Google's Gemini-powered upgrade in late 2025 made conversational tasks feel genuinely natural for the first time. You can ask follow-up questions and the assistant remembers context. Alexa's Plus tier, released early 2025 for $20 a month, brought similar capabilities. Siri got a major upgrade with Apple Intelligence in 2024, though it still trails on general knowledge. Now let's talk hardware. Amazon's Echo lineup is the broadest. The Echo Pop at $39, the Echo Dot 5th Gen at $50, the standard Echo at $100, the Echo Studio at $200. Sound quality jumps dramatically as you climb. The Echo Studio competes credibly with mid-tier dedicated speakers, and it's the cheapest of the high-end voice speakers. Google Home hardware was rebranded as Nest in 2019 and updated again in 2024. The Nest Mini 2nd Gen runs $49. The Nest Audio is $100. The new Nest Hub Max 2 with the larger display is $249. Google's audio quality is generally above Echo on equivalent tier hardware, but smaller selection. Apple's HomePod lineup is the simplest. Just two products. HomePod Mini at $99, full HomePod 2nd Gen at $299. Both have the best audio in their tier, hands down. Apple invests heavily in audio engineering and it shows. Stereo pairing two HomePod Minis sounds shockingly close to a HomePod single. Premium price for premium sound. Compatible device count is the biggest divergence. Alexa supports over 140,000 certified devices according to Amazon's 2025 Developer Summit. Google Home claims around 50,000. Apple Home, the most curated, supports about 10,000 HomeKit devices, but Matter integration in late 2023 boosted that significantly to maybe 20,000 effective devices. But the ROI looks different when you count quality over quantity. Apple's curation means devices that work in HomeKit are tested and certified. Alexa's vast library includes a lot of low-quality off-brand junk. If you go with Alexa, you'll need to read reviews carefully. If you go with Apple, you'll have a smaller catalog, but the failure rate is lower. Privacy is where these ecosystems diverge philosophically. Apple processes most Siri requests on-device since iOS 16. Voice recordings sent to Apple are anonymized with a random identifier and deleted on a rolling basis. Google does similar processing, but their business model is data-driven. Amazon explicitly stores recordings and uses them for training unless you opt out. Read Mozilla's 2025 privacy report for the full breakdown. If privacy is a top concern, Apple wins clearly. The on-device processing is real and verified by independent researchers. The downside is fewer features that depend on cloud computation, like complex multi-device routines. Apple's automation engine is the weakest of the three precisely because they refuse to send your routine logic to a cloud server. Now routines and automation. This is where Google and Alexa pull ahead. Both support multi-step routines with conditional logic, time triggers, location triggers, and device state triggers. Google Routines added natural language editing in 2025. You can describe a routine in plain English and Gemini builds it. Alexa Plus does similar with Claude integration. Apple's automations are functional but require more clicks to build. Here's where most people get tripped up. Cross-ecosystem device control. Matter changed the game starting in 2023, but it's still imperfect. A Matter-compatible plug paired in Apple Home, Google Home, and Alexa simultaneously usually works for basic on-off voice command from any assistant. But ecosystem-specific features like Apple's HomeKey Wi-Fi credential sharing or Google's preset color presets stay locked to native apps. In my own setup, I started with all Apple, drifted into Alexa for hardware variety, and ended up running both with Matter as the bridge. It works, but it's a hobbyist's life. If you want simple, pick one ecosystem and stick with it. The pain of multi-ecosystem only pays off if you're squeezing specific features that one ecosystem can't deliver alone. Let's discuss music. Apple HomePod is locked to Apple Music for full features, with Spotify and Pandora supported as Bluetooth or AirPlay. Google Home plays nicely with Spotify, YouTube Music, Pandora, and most others natively. Alexa supports the most services, including Tidal and Apple Music as of 2023. If you're a Spotify user, Google or Alexa is more comfortable. Phone integration. Apple Home only works with iPhone. No Android version exists in 2026. Google Home and Alexa apps run on both iOS and Android. If your household has mixed phones, Apple Home creates friction immediately. The non-iPhone members can't add devices, can't see notifications, can't run scenes from their phones. Real adoption blocker. Subscription costs are creeping into all three. Alexa Plus is $20 a month or $180 annually for the full AI experience. Google's premium Gemini features come bundled with the Google AI Pro tier at $20 monthly. Apple Intelligence is free if you have an iPhone 15 Pro or newer with iCloud Plus already paid. The free version of all three still works fine for basic commands. Customer support and warranty. Amazon's customer service is the most aggressive about replacements. Lost or broken Echo, you usually get a new one shipped within 48 hours, often even out of warranty if you ask nicely. Google's support is more bureaucratic. Apple's is the most premium experience, with the highest replacement cost when out of warranty. Pick what matches your tolerance for headaches. Build quality. The HomePod has the most premium feel and longest historical lifespan. My 2018 HomePod still works flawlessly in 2026, 8 years on, with regular software updates. Echo lifespan averages 4 to 6 years per a 2025 Consumer Reports survey. Google Nest sits in between. If buy it and forget it appeals to you, Apple gives you the most years per dollar in the long run. Display devices. The Nest Hub Max 2 with its larger display is the best overall smart display in 2026. The Echo Show 10 and Show 15 are competitive, but the Google interface for video calls, photos, and recipes feels more polished. Apple has no smart display, period. They expect you to use an iPad. That's an extra $500 at minimum. What if you have an existing investment? The honest answer, ecosystem switching costs are real. If you have 10 Hue bulbs already paired with Apple Home, switching to Google requires repairing each one. If you have Echo speakers in 5 rooms, switching to Apple means buying 5 new HomePods. Calculate the switching cost realistically before you commit. My recommendations. If you live entirely in iPhone land, prioritize quality over selection, and care about privacy, pick Apple Home. The HomePod Mini is a budget-friendly entry. If you want maximum device support, the most flexible voice assistant, and shop on Amazon a lot, pick Alexa. The Echo lineup gives you affordable starter options. If you want the smartest assistant, the best smart display experience, and don't mind Google's data practices, pick Google Home. The Nest Hub Max 2 is unmatched right now. If you can't decide, Matter has made it possible to live in two ecosystems, but the friction is real. Pick a primary, supplement only when there's a specific gap. What I would not recommend in 2026. Building a serious smart home around Cortana or Bixby. Both Microsoft and Samsung have effectively withdrawn from the consumer voice assistant race. Devices still work, but new feature investment is minimal. Same goes for any startup voice assistant promising to be the next big thing. Pick a survivor. Final thought on cost. Total cost of ownership across 5 years for a typical setup with 2 main speakers, 2 minis, and 10 devices runs around $600 to $800 on Alexa, $800 to $1,000 on Google, and $1,200 to $1,500 on Apple. Premium tax for Apple is real. Whether it's worth it depends on what you value. Subscribe to Espacio Intelligent and hit the bell. Next week's setup goes deeper into the budget $200 smart home starter kit. What to buy first if you have $100 and want to start automating without locking into an ecosystem. Drop a comment with which assistant you currently run, and I will help troubleshoot the most common pain points.